So in this episode, we're going to talk about Latinos in American series. Even if today Latinos are more and more present in our series, it took time for them to be known and recognised in the cinema world. A phenomenon of exchange is created between North and South America, which has created a series of adaptations that are known and still have a huge success, like Ugly Betty, which also shows a woman with Latino roots, while it's not considered to be beautiful. This is very difficult for her, knowing that she works in the fashion world and lives with her family. Despite the stereotypes she suffers every day at her workplace, Ugly Betty knows to deal with all this and knows how to be strong and independent while remaining proud of their roots and exploiting them whenever possible. This series shows the general public that Latin women are not necessarily all beautiful and brainless, but they are also very intelligent and aware of their strengths. It is one of the rare series where a Latino is a central character of the series, whereas usually they are only secondary characters. In the series Orange is the New Black, the gang of Latinos shows here that America suffers from several dysfunctions in its society. In particular, everything that is the order of delinquency and the problems of drugs found in families of Latinos. Even if one may want to believe the stereotypes developed by the series, it is important, in our opinion, to make the difference between the image we want to make us perceive Latinos and what is real. In Orange is the New Black, the Latinas are shown as strong women, loyal and dedicated to the people they love. This series should not be seen as a denunciation of social stereotypes, but as a peace response between the different communities. This series, Devious Maids, is also not to take the wrong way. Indeed, even if it reveals as a quintal of Latinas made to work for famous and rich people, we understand very quickly that this series wants to show us the intelligence and the independence which they show. Through the stereotype of Hispanic women who come into the US and become domestic servants, the series reveals a real attachment and invest to her women who are fighting to find a place in American society and also to be accepted. They are all determined, loyal and strong. They fight for their dreams and do everything to get there while trying to get away from stereotypes that stick to their skin. This series is a model for all women and changes their mentalities and false ideas that we can have. Okay, so in this episode, we're going to talk about the representation of Europeans in the American series. We will begin by pointing out that they are not very represented in the American series, and that when they are represented, it is not necessarily in a positive way. Take for example the character Joey in the famous series Friends. He is an Italian and he is proud of his origins, but he is shown as a naive, childish character who cannot find love because he is too selfish. I find it a shame to stay on stereotypes as futile, even if some episodes show us a Joey more adult and mature. There is also Sense8 series, which is a very good example of the diversity of communities, and the Europeans are very well represented. It is also a series that explores many different themes that affect us all, but we will focus on the representation of Europeans. 2 European countries are represented, especially their capital. Germany with Wolfgang, played by Max Reinhardt, a German actor, and the Netherlands with Riley Tuppence Middleton, a British actress. Both actors are really of European origin, and this brings a totally new dimension in the field of the series. It is a non-stereotype diversity since it is controlled by the actors themselves. It is a representation of Europeans that is realistic and highlights the Europeans because they are part of the main characters, which is rare in the American series. They are more often relegated to the background with secondary roles. Okay, so I'd also like to pay attention to the Indo-American community, which is affected by minority issues, both in the series and in their daily lives. So even if their representations do not cease to evolve in the series, and that they are not represented only by stereotyped images, it is important to take into account that this has not always been the case. For example, the character Apu in The Simpsons is the manager of a grocery store, father of 8 children, who for reasons of characteristic considered too stereotypical brought about its disappearance in the series. The behaviour gave to his character charms in the daily life of the Indo-American community, which shows them the impact of the series in our life. These prejudices of the Indo-American community can be even stronger and violent according to the type of series. For example, during the scenes of the series Sopranos, the Indians are represented as being assisted, good for nothing, people who do not stop to complain about unequal treatment. These are all elements that could be applied in a stereotypical discourse on blacks. Same in the series Boss, Tom Kane, the Mayor. Take no tweezers in the Indian minority. I do not want to say that there must only be good characters in the series. On the contrary, you need to create differences to let your imagination run wild. But in my opinion, it is no longer a categorized communities, and Indo-American does not. He does not necessarily have to play the role of a father who does not have enough money and who depends on others to live. He's too afraid to play the role of a great doctor. So I ask you to think carefully in the way you characterize your characters, because remember that what you will broadcast has a strong impact on people's lives and their chances of success.